Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. How is everyone doing today? This lovely Sunday. Why'd I say it like that? Sunday. Ah. Today is Sunday, the 4th of October, 2020. Yes, that is correct. I am Darkside Phil, and I welcome you here to my first of 2 gameplay streams for the day. What a day today will be. Today should be a pretty momentous day with the stuff that we're doing here on streams together today. Okay? It should be pretty good. And I hope that you guys will join me all day long if you can for all the fun that we're going to do today. Hold on one second. Oh my god, of course, here we go. I start talking and immediately we got to have this nonsense. There we go. Anyway, sorry, some asshole in the stream chat. Yes, today should be a good day, a fun day. I hope you guys are excited for the festivities and the fun that we'll be doing on stream today. Today's a nice cool day here in Washington. 2 days straight now where it's been very cloudy and rainy on and off. And this is the kind of weather I love. Why? Because it's nice and cool in the office. The window is wide open, the fan is on, and I am relaxed and cool and feeling good. When I'm playing a game that's difficult, I prefer to have weather that is accommodating. And honestly, this is like the first couple of days here where I've had good weather during my streams. It's been actually quite challenging in some cases to stay in here, especially the days when we're wearing the vest. Woo! Because it can get upwards of 85 degrees in this office, even during a cool fall day, when normally you would think, oh, it's, you know, it's probably nice there. No, it's like in this office when the sun comes out in the afternoon, it can get quite bad. Like, really, really fucking hot. And, you know, because the sun, when it's a sunny day, the sun beats on the office wall, and my office ends up being like an oven. I've said this before, it's like a clay oven. So, these past couple of days it's been cloudy, and because it's cloudy, it's manageable. It's actually, like, breathable in here. It's not, you know, insanely crazy hot to the point where I'm sweating it out or anything like that. So that's a good thing. And I have been enjoying Crash Bandicoot. Bandicoot! I don't know why I'm saying it like that. But Crash Bandicoot has been quite the wild ride so far. I've played it 2 different days. You know, launch day on Friday and then again yesterday. Now, I was told the game was short. I don't know what game people are playing. It's obviously not Crash Bandicoot, because this game is far from being a short game. I honestly don't even know how you could say it's short. Like, that's just factually fucking wrong, you know? It's pretty lengthy. I've played it 2 days so far, and we're in the middle of World 5. The game has 10 worlds, and as we continue to play it, it's getting harder and harder. Like, it's legitimately jumping and spiking in difficulty as we play it. Yesterday, I was playing World 4, and we had this new mechanic where you turn purple and you do these floaty double jumps. And there was some pretty challenging stuff with that. And then, World 5, we were just introduced to Dingo Dial being a playable character, which I did not expect. Like, I suspected there would be multiple characters, but I didn't think that Dingo Dial, a former boss, would end up being a playable character in the game. So that kind of threw me for a loop. It was a little interesting, and he plays very different from the rest of the cast. You know, can't really do some of the platforming and stuff, but he sucks and shoots things with his gun. And it was actually a really challenging stage, his debut stage. But you would think, oh, it's a new character, it'll be like a 5-minute introductory stage. It was like 25 minutes long, and it was like lengthy and challenging. So, and that's the middle of World 5. People are saying the further in you get, it gets even tougher. So I could see this definitely going at least another 2 major sessions. In addition, if I do decide to play even more further than that to try to get some of the collectibles or trophies, I could see this game lasting 20, 30 hours. I'm serious. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do that, because I've already said this. It seems to me that this game is really designed for those who are ultimate fans of the original trilogy, okay, and who essentially aren't really super interested in too much, how can I say it? Um, the game definitely innovates. There's a lot of new things in the game, but at the same time, I feel even for fans of the original games, you're gonna have a challenging run with this one. It really seems like they tried to appeal to all audiences. If you're just trying to play a fun and challenging platformer, you'll get that in your first run of the game. But if you want to add extra hours and challenge to the game by getting all the boxes, by doing low death runs, by finding all the secrets, it could take you a long time and tons of runs in order to do that. This is not like Crash Bandicoot 2 and 3, where just playing each stage a couple of times you could get everything. It doesn't seem like that at all to me. Also, by the way, I unlocked the ability where you have to replay the stages in a remixed version, and when you do that, they're tougher, but you get rewards for it. You get, like, unlock, more diamonds and therefore more skins and the like. So, this game has a lot of content. Even though at first glance you'd say, oh, it's 10 worlds, and if you just rush through them and you don't do any of the optional stages or optional content, you could beat it in 8 hours. Okay? Great. But this is what people do, is they say, what's the absolute fastest you can beat the game in, instead of, okay, in reality, how long will you actually spend with the game if you actually are taking your time, and playing it like a normal person, instead of someone who's purposely trying to speed run the game? Well, it's actually way longer than 8 hours then, from what I've seen. It seems like it's going to be maybe a 15-hour experience or something, right? I'm not 100% sure, but it sure seems to me like there's going to be a lot to the game. Okay? So, what I would say is, I'm going to be playing it today, and likely I'll be playing it again 1 or 2 times this week to get to the end of it. If it remains as challenging as it has been, because, for example, yesterday, all I did in the entire stream, 3.5 hours of gameplay, I beat World 4, and then I did about half of World 5, and that was the whole stream. So if I'm only going a world and a half each stream, potentially you could say 2 or 3 more streams, who knows, right? So we'll see. And by the way, I am liking the game, because some people are saying, it's challenging and all, but do you like it? And the answer is yes, I am definitely enjoying the game. That's why I'm playing it 3 days in a row here, right? I'm having so much fun playing it that I wanted to go ahead and play it again a 3rd day in a row. I could have done Mario today, but I'm having so much fun with this. I said, let's just keep the momentum going. You guys seem to really be enjoying watching me fail, because let's be honest, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at this. I am failing miserably. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm doing good. I'm dying a bajillion times. But I also think that's part of the fun of it. That's why the game doesn't have lives, per se. It doesn't make you go grind for lives. So once again, I will reiterate what I said yesterday on the pre-stream. Alright? There is absolutely no reason to play the game in classic mode. All classic mode would force you to do is go back to easier stages and grind for extra lives so you can keep playing. There's no reason to do that, right? Especially because if I'm going to be trying to do certain challenges and bonus stages and stuff, I don't need to have to now go back and fucking grind for lives, which is just completely boring and outside of the realm of a modern game. Okay? So, no, I'm not changing it to classic mode, because all it would do is make the playthrough way more tedious and not as fun. Asking me is not going to make it happen, and asking me is just going to get you in trouble. Alright, at this point. Because yesterday there were people literally just trolling on the stream. Oh, go to classic, go to classic. I said, if you do it, you're out of here. And then people stopped doing it, and we had a really good stream. Okay? So, don't ask for classic mode, because it ain't happening, folks. Okay? Now, let's see how far we get today. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm in the middle of World 5. We'll see how far I can get, on today's stream. And that'll, basically after today, if I'm still having fun with the game, I would not be opposed to playing it again tomorrow. I wouldn't. But at the same time, I don't know, how far we're going to get today. If you guys maybe by the end of today's stream, you'll finally be a little bored of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, maybe not. But I'm enjoying myself, which is why I said I wanted to play it a 3rd day in a row. But it doesn't necessarily mean that what I like is what you guys like. Alright? So I guess we'll play it by ear, and we'll see what you guys think by the end of today's stream. If you want more of it tomorrow, I'll be willing to play a 4th stream in a row tomorrow. Seriously. Okay? So, we shall see what happens. All right? We shall see what happens. Tonight, the late stream tonight's also going to be great. That's why I feel today's going to be a really good day of streaming. Tonight, I am finishing up Mafia Definitive Edition. All right? Great playthrough. It's been a great playthrough. 3 major streams, so I'd like about 10 hours so far. And tonight we've got the final 3 missions. We're in the midst of one of the missions. Okay? And I really enjoyed this game. As I've said, I've drawn parallels between this and Mafia 2 because it really does feel like the same style of game. Mafia 2 was narrative-based, and so is this. This is very much narrative-based, not real open-world side missions or anything like that. Instead, it's focused pretty much solely on pushing a story, and that's good. You know, GTA games have a place for sure. They're very popular, but not every open-world game has to be GTA. I feel that some people sadly just hold them all up to kind of the same kind of standard, when in reality, not every game has to be like that. And this is a case here where I feel that Mafia 1 is an outstanding game because it's a great story, pretty good gameplay. Now we're getting near the end of the game. The stages are definitely getting way more challenging. And that's good. I'm enjoying the challenge of the final stages here. So I'm looking forward to how it ends tonight. You know, we're in a story where the main character, Tommy, is basically trying to get out of the mob. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get out of the mob or not. We don't, you know, it's kind of this big ongoing storyline. Will he be able to escape, or is he going to get whacked? Right? So tonight, the conclusion. I hope you will join me for that. It should be pretty exciting. Around 6:45 p.m. Pacific time. We'll see how it all ends. Okay? Now, as I've already mentioned, tomorrow, pretty much up in the air, whatever you guys would like to do. If you want more Crash, I'm down for more Crash tomorrow. If maybe you say, okay, that's a lot of Crash, let's take a break from it, I'd be willing to take a break from Crash tomorrow and go back to Mario Galaxy, since we're in the end game of Mario Galaxy. Okay? So, let's see. Let's see how tomorrow goes. Okay? What I should say is, let's see how today goes. Because judging on how today goes, we'll probably judge what we do tomorrow. You know, if today goes great and you guys want more, then we'll probably do more Crash tomorrow. If not, we'll probably switch back to Mario. And by the way, if we play Mario, it's going to be the conclusion of Super Mario Galaxy. Because what have we got left? Not much. We've got the final star in the Molten Lava stage. Then we've got the final Bowser stage, which I'm sure is challenging. And then that unlocks the post-game content, which is basically going back to the existing worlds and getting all the purple stars. You got to fly around and grab all the purple stars out of the sky or whatever. So, yeah, that'll be, I mean, that's going to be fun when I do it, but I'm not necessarily in a rush to do it, being that it's not a new release or anything, okay? So we'll see. Tomorrow, either Crash or Mario. Tomorrow night will be endgame of Fire Emblem 3 Houses. What does that mean? It means that we are in chapter 20 of 21. Finally, after nearly 6 months, because it was May to June, June to July, July to August, August to September, September to October, so about 5 months, I've been playing Fire Emblem. We're finally going to finish it. Not tomorrow night, but soon. Okay? We're about to start the combat stage of chapter 20. And then after that, all there is one more month's filler, and then chapter 21, a big stage, a final fight, and then the conclusion of the game. Okay? So, we're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. I know it's taking forever, but we're going to finish it. Okay? So that's going to be Monday night. Tuesday, I'm off. Tuesday's my day off for the week. I'll be out running errands, doing stuff. In particular, you know, looking for new pillows and stuff to avoid getting repeated ear infections. And by the way, I have an update on my ear that I'll give you guys in a moment here. But I'll be back on Wednesday. Okay? Wednesday, whatever, basically, I feel whatever I play tomorrow, all right, I will not play on Wednesday. So if tomorrow we decide to go to Mario Galaxy, then Wednesday will be the continuation of Crash. If I decide to play Crash tomorrow, then I'll probably do Mario Galaxy on Wednesday. Okay, so, you know, depending on what we do. All right. Wednesday night, I'm going to do a late night stream of Batman Return to Arkham City. I've been doing this once a week for the past few weeks. where we basically go back to the game and we're trying to finish the Riddler content. My original run of the game when it was a new release, way back when, 9 years ago, I did not do the Riddler content. I did some of it, but then I never really went back to complete it, okay? So, because I didn't do that, I'd like to do it this time around and see what actual content happens, because I believe you unlock a final boss fight against the Riddler and stuff. So I definitely like to see that. Right now, in Batman, we're doing pretty good. We've got more than half the Riddler stuff down. In fact, last time I did a ton of shit. We finished the Steel Mill, and we're about to finish the museum, which means there's Wonder Tower, and I want to say 1 to 2 more internal areas with trophies that I gotta go back and backtrack to finish. But once that's done, there's only a few more open world things to do. I gotta grab the Riddler informants to tell me where the trophies are or whatever. But we're very close to finishing the Batman Riddler stuff. I'd say maybe 2 more sessions, 3 tops, but maybe 2, and we'd be able to finish it up and find the Riddler and finish it all up, which is great. So Wednesday night will be a nice chill stream of Batman. Okay? Thursday, it's the return of Ask the King, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys have not been around for my Q&A show recently, it's because it didn't happen recently. I haven't done one in a long-ass time, okay? I think the last one was like July. So finally, Ask the King returning this Thursday, okay? Please ask questions. You just saw it just happened in the stream chat. Every 20 minutes or so, a link will pop up, or if you just type !Ask the King into the stream chat, the link will appear, by which you can post up and ask questions for the show. The more questions I get, the better the show is, especially now during this time of year, with the new consoles about to come out, all these new games coming out. I'm sure you guys are going to have some questions for me. So please, post up your questions. All right? That's going to be Thursday's main gameplay, or it's not gameplay stream. Thursday's main stream. Okay? I like people keep doing copy pastas. They're trying to distract me. People keep doing copy pastas in the stream chat. And then I read them. And I lose my train of thought of what I was thinking about. Okay? Now, this coming Thursday is a very eventful day, everybody. Because not only is it a return of Ask the King, which obviously I'm excited for. However, it's also the premiere of Season 2 of Fall Guys. That is right. Fall Guys getting a new season. And not to say that I play Fall Guys all the time or anything, like some of these people went crazy playing Fall Guys over the summer. But I definitely enjoy the game. I seem to do pretty good at it. And you guys seem to like watching me play it. So that's a good thing, right? So with Season 2, it brings a few interesting new things, okay? First of all, new stages. There's actually going to be a significant amount of new stages in the game. I think at least 2. They said one of them is this new one where there's these giant walls. And the way to get over them is you have to push, collectively as a team, push blocks to create a staircase to get over the wall. Now, we all know how it goes when you're trying to do cooperative gameplay in Fall Guys. Half the time you got people who are like, you know, going the wrong direction and everything. So we'll see how that goes. I think there's supposed to be another one too. There's supposed to be like 2 new stages. I'm not 100% on that, but I think that's what they said. 2 new stages. In addition, variations on existing stages. The whole theme of the game is going to turn medieval, and there's going to be all kinds of new skins and stuff with medieval theme to it. So it seems like it'll be pretty good. I'm excited for it. We're going to be doing that Thursday night. We're going to try that out and see what the new season of Fall Guys is all about. Okay? I hope you will join me for that. Then on Friday, it's really kind of up in the air. And the reason I say that is we got to see how everything's going. Maybe on Friday we'll want to return back to Crash if we haven't played it for a while. Maybe on Friday I'll start something totally new. Ooh. But what would it be? And that is the question. I've posed this question to you over the past few days, and I've got various different kinds of replies. So here's my ideas, all right? I definitely want to do something new starting this week because there are no major new releases really going on until around the 20th of October. So we're talking roughly 2 weeks, okay? With that amount of time to wait, I want to do something new. Okay? So what would I like to do? Well, some of the options I'm weighing and balancing. There's this game called Genshin Impact that apparently has come out that is a game on, it's free to play, by the way. I should mention that. It's a free to play game. And a lot of people are comparing it to Breath of the Wild, saying it has a ton of similarities to Breath of the Wild. And they're interested in seeing me play it. Now, I don't think this is a game that I would fully play. From what I understand, the game is quite lengthy. Like they're saying, it's a long-ass, drawn-out action RPG. And it has gotcha or getcha, whatever you want to call it, mechanics. Where basically, to advance, you basically have to spend some money. Like, you have to actually drop money into, like, random loot pools and shit in order to actually, like, advance in the game. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I definitely could see that being an issue, like a slippery slope issue. You get hooked on the game, you like it, and you keep dropping more money into it to keep playing it, But it's a possibility. It's free, and maybe just for the sake of seeing what the hell it is, I could try it. And if it's something that's not super interesting to you guys, I don't have to keep playing it. And by the way, I have no intentions of spending any money on it. I should just be clear here. Free-to-play game, I didn't even know what the hell it was until, all of a sudden it came out of nowhere and people started talking about it. No, I'm not going to be spending money on this game or anything. Okay? So we could check that out. I could do a playthrough of Hollow Knight. This is a game that I bought for last week's Rageathon Marathon. You guys seemed to really enjoy when I played it and said, please do a full playthrough of it. Now, that's not everyone. I know that when I play these games, Metroidvania style, sadly, there's a group of people who just hate that Metroidvania style formula. I don't know why, but they do. And when I play these games, people are like, oh my god, he's playing Metroidvania again. I can't believe it. Why is he doing this? I don't know what it is about Metroidvania that gets some people incensed, that they just don't like it. But it's always happened. So maybe I'll play it. I'm considering it. Alright. Now, there's also a game that just came out called Star Wars Squadrons. Right? This is a game that is a flight simulator style game, but it's more like dogfights in space. Some people have said the game is good. They said it's about an 8-hour campaign plus multiplayer, and for a $40 price tag, that's a pretty good value. Others have told me to avoid it like the plague, that it's not very good, and that I'm going to be very disappointed with it, that they basically tried it and didn't like it, and I'm going to end up spending $40 on a game I played once and no one likes. Okay? So I'm on the fence about it. That's why I skipped it on Friday. And to be quite frank, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of people who are very upset that I didn't play it. Okay? It seems like it may be, it was an oddity that it came out. It was so out of nowhere, announced out of nowhere, like over the summer. And people were like, a Star Wars game out of nowhere? What's going on? And now that it's out, it's kind of like, meh. Like, no one's, like, super excited for it or anything. But it's a consideration still. Okay? Now, I could just do like a random horror game. What horror game would it be? I don't know. Some people have suggested Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. The thing is, I really feel that a game like Five Nights at Freddy's would be much better for the marathon that I'm going to do at the end of this month, the Halloween marathon. Why? Because let's be honest here. It's just a cheap jump scare game where you look at cameras and, there's not much to them. And I would think that doing that for an hour or an hour and a half and kind of laughing at the silly jump scares and shit is much better than trying to actually do a playthrough of it, right? I don't think that a playthrough is going to work. I'm just being honest. So I don't know about that. Maybe something different, maybe a different kind of horror game. Because, I definitely want to do some horror stuff this month. And there is going to be horror stuff this month. Just to clarify, there's going to be a new Amnesia game. And that's coming out around, I think it's like the 20th or 22nd of the month. And there's Little Hope, the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology. That's coming out at the end of the month. So I'm playing 2 horror games this month no matter what. But, I don't think that Five Nights at Freddy's is going to be good for the middle of the month. Okay? Now, I think there was one other game, too. I'm trying to remember what it was that was a suggestion. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it here. The hell's this? The other game was, oh yeah, the Outer Worlds DLC. Remember, Outer Worlds was one of my favorite games of last year. And it came out with a major DLC last month, and everyone says the DLC is pretty good if you like the main game. you're basically going to like the DLC. And I did like the main game. No surprise. So, maybe that's an interesting idea to play the Outer Worlds DLC, you know? So, let's see, you know, that's kind of my ideas. I need your help because I want to determine what I'm going to be starting. Like I said, probably around Friday or Saturday of this coming week, I'm going to be doing one of these projects, or I call them projects. They're basically games, but, you know, they're ongoing series for the streams. And so I want something, you know, to balance with all the stuff that I'm currently doing. And I don't know. I honestly don't know what the right call is. I don't. I'm confused. Because when I have this many options, it makes it very difficult to determine, you know, what exactly you guys are going to want or like, and what will work for a playthrough. So, you know, How long's the DLC? That I don't know. I don't know how long the Outer Worlds DLC is. So obviously that's a factor too. Not knowing how long it is, right? Do a viewer poll or a Twitter poll? I don't know. See, the thing is with a viewer poll, you're only asking people who are here live. Here, all right, we'll do it. You know what? What the hell? Let's do a quick poll. I'm going to do it right now. I'm just curious of those who are here for the pre-stream, what you guys think. What is the best option for a new game? So, Genshin Impact, Outer Worlds DLC, a horror game. Excuse me. Star Wars Squadrons. Was there something else? I think it was just those 4, right? Now dude, my brain is like a sieve. How can I not fucking remember? I just looked it up and I've already forgotten. Oh, Hollow Knight, of course. Alright. I'm going to do a poll right now. Duration will be for 5 minutes. You guys vote in the stream chat. What do you think would be the best next thing for me to do? Okay? And I'll let you know after 5 minutes. I'll let you know how everyone voted. I was curious to see just a live poll here. What you guys think. Okay? Oh, there you go. How Long the Beast is the DLC is about 6.5 hours for main story and there's side content. Okay. So it would probably be 2 major streams, right? 2 major streams for the Outer Worlds DLC. If I did it. Okay. Any chance of doing the Control DLC? Ask Glamorous Jarl. Chances are no. Just being honest, chances are at this point, I'm pretty sure any chance that I was going to do anything in Control is dead. I would have done it already. You know, it's last year's release. And yes, there was some major DLC that came out, including a major Alan Wake DLC that I was interested in. The viewing audience made it abundantly clear they did not give 2 flying shits about Control. I don't know. I liked Control. I didn't like the combat, but I loved the story. But my audience did not like it. You know, the entire time I played it, it was just complaining that the game sucked. And here we are a year later, and I said, oh, I'm going to do the DLCs. No! So, that's why I never played it. Anyway, so those are the options. Hollow Knight, Genshin Impact, a random horror game, the Outer Worlds DLC, or Star Wars Squadrons. That's what I'm considering for this coming week. So, let me know. We're doing a poll right now, or maybe you're watching this on demand on YouTube. Be sure to share with me what you'd like to see. All right? I'm going to go with at least one of those, and I would definitely like to see what you guys want. So, share. Please share your opinions, okay? So anyway, yes, by next weekend, I'm planning on starting up something new to balance with the stuff that I'm currently doing. So that Friday, I may do Crash 4, or maybe I'll be doing something completely new. I'm not sure. Excuse me. That Friday night, I'm going to be doing Street Fighter. It'll come back. Old School Street Fighter will come back that Friday. I know some people were disappointed because it's a weekly staple, and I did not do it this past week because I was doing other stuff. Remember, I did Super Mario 35, something different, right? By the way, am I going to be doing Super Mario 35 again? Probably not soon. If I do it, it's probably not going to be soon. I mean, I won it multiple times. I got top placings multiple times. I've basically shown that I am pretty good at the old school Marios. And or quickly finding a pattern in order to win an old school Mario game like that. And I don't really think there's much else left to do in the game for me. So, no, I'm probably not playing Super Mario 35 again anytime soon. Okay, for anyone who's interested. So, a new project that weekend to balance with Crash 4. Alright, and Street Fighter will be on that Friday. Now, over the course of the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of next week, one of those days, I am definitely going to beat Fire Emblem. I don't know which day yet, okay? I don't know 100%, but I can tell you I need to get Fire Emblem completed. So, absolutely, one of those days is going to be the conclusion of Fire Emblem. And I probably will either be Saturday, Sunday, and here's why. Because if by some freak chance, the end of the game is so drawn out and lengthy that I don't beat it on that stream, I want to be able to do another stream to beat it. You see? I want it done. So, we'll see. But yes, one of those nights is going to be the conclusion of Fire Emblem. Likely, maybe another night may be Fall Guys, especially because it's Season 2 and there'll be more hype behind it. So likely I'll do a little bit more Fall Guys over the weekend as well. Okay? So we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear. And, you know, hopefully between all these options that I have, we'll be able to do some entertaining stuff for about a week, week and a half, until the big new releases start coming out this month. So what are the big new releases of the month? There's a new Amnesia game coming out. Perfect time for it. I mean, Halloween month. Definitely time for a horror game. Okay? That's number one. Then there's the final DLC for Pokemon. I don't know what it's called. It's like the Isle of Glass or Glacier Peak. I don't know. I'm totally making this up. I actually have no idea what it's called. I have no idea at all. So the final DLC for Pokemon is coming out. And I'm excited for that because, as you know, I really enjoyed Pokemon Sword and Shield last year. And earlier this year, we had the first DLC, which was pretty decent length. And I played it for a couple weeks and got fully completed the Pokedex for it. Okay? So I'm excited for that. It's called the Crown Tundra. Wow, I had no idea. The Crown Tundra. Thank you, Maggot Ministry. By the way, the poll is completed. And the poll says, and by the way, I think it's by a narrow margin, a horror game. People will be interested in seeing me play some kind of a horror game this month. That would be cool. Now we got to think about, like, and I'm not saying that I'm doing that 100%. I'm just saying that's for people on the pre-stream. That's what they voted for. So the question is, what horror game, right? Like, what would be a game that you guys would be interested in seeing me play? Interesting. I'll have to think about this over the week. A horror game. Anyway, so yeah, so Pokemon expansion comes out, okay? And then, near the end of this month, we got Watch Dogs Legion. A game that I think a lot of people are wondering if it's going to be good or not. I think we're all questioning it because it's like, how can you have a Watch Dogs game without a set cast? How can you have a cast of characters that are kind of disposable and then you replace them if they die? It's an interesting premise, but will it be any good? I don't know. Okay? I don't know. And then, of course, at the end of the month, Little Hope, which is the next narrative-based horror game from the makers of Until Dawn and last year's Man of Medan. So I'm excited for that. Perfect time for that. As you know, when we played Man of Medan last year, it was really super fun because those games, they definitely work for really good first runs. The very first time you play through the story of those games, it's outstanding. It's super interesting, like what's going on. And then, of course, once you play through it once and you kind of know what's going on, it's not as fun the second time around. But it is cool to go back and do alternate choices. And see, you know, can you make everyone survive or are they all going to die or whatever? It's pretty cool in that regard. So I'm excited to see how that turns out. And then, of course, on Halloween, we're doing a Halloween Day Marathon event. Speaking of which, perfect time to transition in. Please, guys, nominate games for me to be playing on Halloween. You can do that by typing !marathon into the stream chat. All right. Please do that. The more games nominated, the better. Now, someone already asked this on pre-stream, so I will answer this now. Someone has asked, what is the criteria that I'm using to select the games for the marathon? Okay? I'll tell you exactly what the criteria is. Okay? Number one, the games have to make sense in a marathon setting. So nominating Danganronpa makes absolutely no sense. Danganronpa is a 40-plus hour narrative-based game where we won't even get past the introduction sequence of the game in an hour to an hour and a half. It's a complete waste of time to play Danganronpa during a marathon. Okay? It's one of the worst nominations I've ever seen. By the way, it's one of the top nominations already. And by the way, I'm probably going to play Danganronpa V3 eventually. I even said it was in the running this year for Viewer's Choice. And I said I would be definitely willing to play it. I played the first 2 games. But for a marathon, it makes no sense whatsoever. None. Zero. Okay? Street Fighter V makes no sense. Because I just played it. I literally just played the game during the Rageathon. If I play it again, there will be nothing additional. It will be exactly the same as when I played it during the Rageathon. So why would I play it again? Right? We don't want to do the same thing twice for a marathon. That's boring. You want variety. Okay? So, when you're nominating games for a marathon, here's what you should be thinking. First of all, is it expensive? If it's like $30+, I'm not getting it for the marathon. You know, this is a series of games to be played in a short format. I'm going to be playing, starting around 10:15 a.m. is when I do the pre-stream. I start playing around noon. And it goes all the way till 7, 8 p.m. When in the case of this last Rageathon, holy shit, it went on till past 10 p.m. Okay, it was the longest stream I'd ever done. It was over 12 hours long, the stream. Okay? That's right, it was 12 hours and 2 seconds long. I timed it. It was by 2 seconds. It was longer than 12 hours. So, that being said, it has to be something that makes sense within that format, okay? Long narrative games don't make sense in that format and are really stupid to suggest for a marathon. I'm just saying, okay? Expensive games, $30+. I'm not going to get for a marathon, especially if potentially it's a game that I probably will never be playing again. Why in the holy hell would I spend that much money to get it for a marathon? All right? Also has to be games that are easy enough to get and access. If you're nominating a game that's an obscure game that can only be played on PlayStation 1 or 2 and was never put on digitally on PlayStation Network, I'm probably not going to be playing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hard to figure out what games will make it for a marathon. It's just that people are being stupid and like, oh, well, if I just nominate it, it just has to be played. Like, that's not how it works. That's never how it worked. But people just want to nominate weirdo shit and think I'm going to play it when I'm not going to. Okay? So, I actually talked about this yesterday. Some of the better suggestions I saw. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Probably a really good suggestion. A relatively inexpensive game. I could probably get it for a couple bucks somewhere digitally. It's a very challenging game. And, it's digestible. You play it for about an hour. You've seen the game. You don't need to keep going. You know what I mean? Like I just suggested, Five Nights at Freddy's actually would work really well for a Halloween marathon, I feel. Why? Because it's a game that, yeah, it's not a great game, but you can play it in a little snippet, and it's probably entertaining, you see? Versus, if you try to play it for a main playthrough, an actual playthrough beating it, it's probably tedious as fuck and super, super boring. But just doing it silly for a marathon and getting some jump scares out of it, probably cool. Alright? But that's what I mean. Like, there's a big difference between, a super lengthy narrative game that there's no chance I'm going to actually complete, or even, get any decent length in during a marathon versus, a game that's cool and digestible, and by the way, not expensive. So, the thing is, you need to have, like, logical thought in order to actually understand that, and a lot of people don't have that. A lot of people say, I want what I want, and then they'll vote for nominate the weirdest shit, and they get upset if I don't play it. Like, why are you upset? You nominated the weirdest thing. Why would you be upset that I'm not playing it? I don't know. People like to try to sabotage my shit, too. I'm not dumb. They try to come, if we nominate the dumbest game that makes no sense for a marathon, then we can complain that Phil didn't play what we asked for. Well, I don't really give a fuck. So, I'm going to make a fun event for the people involved watching who care. I don't give a fuck about the people who are going to sit here and whine because I'm not playing Danganronpa during a Halloween fucking marathon. Stupidity. Anyway, so that's the deal, my friends. Please continue to nominate games for the event, and please be wise about what you nominate, because obviously there's a stronger chance of one type of game versus another. All right, just throwing that out there. So my neck hurts. So, also, please continue to vote on the category of costume you would like to see me wear during the event. Okay? How do you do that? Well, you type !costume into the stream chat. It'll bring up the link. Or you can just wait every 20 minutes or so. A link is actually popping up in the stream chat automatically on which you can vote. Alright? Either way is obviously perfectly valid. And I hope that you will. Right now, from what I understand, it's video game character and pop culture icon that are kind of dominating the poll. But there's also horror character that's kind of close. I don't know. I haven't looked at the poll in a day. But last time around, that's how it was looking. Okay? So, please vote on the costume. Alright? Actually, this week, Kat and I are going to head out and start looking at costumes that are out there. We're going to look for, first of all, Halloween stores. I think there's one at the local mall set up. I don't know if there's any more at this point. We haven't really been looking. But we're going to start looking around and see what's available costume-wise this year. And try to get some ideas, all right, of things that I could do depending on the category you guys pick. All right. Okay, so outside of all of that, guys, I want to say thank you for your support recently. I do. You know, recently I've been through a lot of rough stuff. My health, chargebacks, it hasn't been a good couple of weeks here. These past couple of weeks have been pretty rough, I'm going to be honest. Let's give you some cumulative updates on everything going on with me. Alright? First of all, my ear. My ear situation is much better than it was. That is for sure. My ear situation is thus. My right ear is pretty much back 100%. The only thing I would say about my right ear that's not 100% is that wick that the physician's assistant put into my ear is still there. Now, it's there because I'm still administering medicine. Today is the final day out of the 7-day regimen of antibiotics that I'm supposed to put in this ear. This is the final day that I'm supposed to do it. So I still have 3 more doses. Now, judging on what happened last time that I had an ear infection, which was early September, alright? I did the full medicine regimen, and then I got it again. Within the same month, it came back again. So, I'm frustrated. I'm afraid this is going to happen again. So, here's the actions that I'm taking. First of all, I'm debating. I think tomorrow I'm going to do an extra day of medicine. Even though I was only supposed to do 7 days, I think I'm going to do an 8th day. That'll give me an extra boost, hopefully. And, you know, will help to absolutely 100% kill whatever the fuck was going on in my ear. Alright, that's number 1. Number 2. This week, when I go out tomorrow, I'm going to buy new pillows. Because the pillows that I've been using, no exaggeration, are 10 years old. When I first got my bed, it was actually a gift from my parents. When I had moved into my condo in Connecticut 11 years ago, they bought me a new bed and they bought me some furniture as like a moving in present. Okay? And so, for example, the chair I'm sitting in right now, my parents bought for me during that time frame. That's how I got it. The bed, that's how I got it. My parents bought it for me. Back then, by the way, my back was really messed up. So they got me a bed that's more firm so that it will help my back because my back's messed up. Okay? When they got this bed for me, it came with a complimentary memory foam pillow. Okay? And this pillow is huge, and it's like the best pillow I've ever slept on in my whole life. It's insanely comfortable. It conforms to your head and creates this really like soft snuggling environment to sleep. I've been sleeping on it for over a decade, okay? But the pillow's old. I wash the pillowcase? Of course I do. But you can't actually like wash the pillow because it's made of dense memory foam, okay? So I get the feeling that this pillow creates a humid environment in my ear. Okay? Now, of course, this is all hypothesis, but I think it does because it was funny. As I've had these ear infections, I have to change up the ear that I sleep on. Usually, I'm a side sleeper and I sleep on my right hand side, which incidentally is the ear I always get the infection in first, right? So you got to think there's something to that. So what would happen is, okay, my right ear's messed up, it hurts. I got to sleep on the left ear instead. Well, guess what? I'm sleeping on the same fucking pillow. So if I had bacteria in my right ear, chances are it's spread onto that pillow, right? And now I'm just putting my left ear on top of it. And what would happen? The infection spreads to my left ear. You see? I think this is what's happening. So this week, after realizing this, I started sleeping on a different pillow. I actually had a pillow from a visit my parents had done years ago. My parents visited me here, and when they came, they didn't like the pillows that were in the hotel room that they were staying in, so they bought pillows that they liked better, and I have those pillows now. And these are not memory foam pillows; these are more like standard pillows. So, excuse me. So I've been using that pillow, or one of those pillows, as my pillow now, and this is way more like fluffy and aerated. It's not dense memory foam, okay? And it seems to have worked, because this is the first time all year long, the third time I got an ear infection, but the first time it didn't transfer to my left ear. Now, knock on wood that I'm saying that, because who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. But as of now, it has not transferred to my left ear, okay? So that obviously means something. Maybe I'm doing something right that it didn't transfer this time around. So hopefully, what I'm doing here with the whole pillow theory maybe is correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head out tomorrow and look for cooler pillows. Pillows that actually are called out for like aeration, because they have them. I've seen them in the stores. Oh, aerated pillow for a cooler night. I'm going to look for that and hopefully get an aerated pillow that is going to help with my whole situation here. And then hopefully between decontaminating my office once a week with the antibacterial wipes, all right, these new pillows that I'm going to get, and one thing I'm going to start doing, I'm not going to wear the headphones all day long. What I'm going to start doing is maybe when I start wearing the headphones again, which will be next week, once an hour, I'm going to take the headphones off for about 10 to 15 minutes just to aerate. So that way we don't have this closed cup environment on my ears for, 3-4 hours. Instead, maybe once an hour, take the headphones off for a few minutes to break that up. Okay? What's hilarious, you get people like JW7 Duke, take some vitamins, stop eating like shit. So you mean everything I'm doing? I take tons of multivitamin. I take a multivitamin, I take a vitamin C supplement, a vitamin D supplement every single day. I don't eat like shit. My wife cooks almost every day, and we eat way healthier than anything I used to eat just a few years ago. So everything you're saying is absolutely stupid. So please keep giving me more dumb suggestions of things that I'm already doing. This guy doesn't even know who I am. He says, you're married. Ho, ho, ho. You're an idiot. All right, fuck off. What a dunce. Anyway. So, that's the deal with my ear. It is better. Now, I have that follow-up, well, not really a follow-up appointment, but I have an appointment with the ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, in about 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. It sucks. I have to wait 2 fucking weeks for this appointment. We'll see what happens, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that they can give me some advice on everything going on, and, whether or not they determine they want to see me in person or not, I have no idea, but here's hoping that we can get some positivity out of this whole thing and make changes for the better, because I can't keep getting ear infections, especially now during the busiest gaming season of the year. I need to be able to hear the goddamn games that I'm playing on stream for you guys. Okay? So, that's what's going on with the ear situation. In regards to the chargeback situation, it's still basically a mixed bag. Like I tell you guys, it seems like sometimes I come out the winner, and sometimes not. And there's still no definite criteria on how that works. So, for example, the past couple of days, here's what's happened. There were 2 chargebacks that, came against my account, and I provided all the information. This was, in particular, this was a person who had tipped multiple times within, like, a day. Okay, so this wasn't just someone who did a one-off tip. This was someone who had done multiple tips within a day or two, and they tried to charge them all back. I gave that information to PayPal, and it took about 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks of it being on hold, they said, you win, you keep the money. No explanation as to why. They just say, you win, you keep the money. Great. Sounds good to me. Then I had one, and the reason this one sucks because this was a bigger one. This was like a $50 tip, okay? And this one, the person, same situation. This is a person who had tipped multiple times, and, I gave all the information. Well, we've been working with the financial institution, and they're of the impression that this was fraudulent, therefore there's nothing we can do, you lose. Okay, well, I did exactly the same thing in both situations. So how is it that, what it seems to me like it's completely random. If the financial institution is getting a claim saying that this is a fraudulent transaction, or maybe the transaction was the wrong amount, or maybe the transaction was the wrong date, or the transaction, whatever it is, they get some bullshit stating this was not a valid transaction. They take all the information of the case from random source, maybe the customer, me via PayPal, and they get all this information, and then the company makes a determination. And then based on that determination, PayPal makes a determination. And sometimes PayPal will side with me, and sometimes they'll side with them. It's just so random, I don't get it. So that's what I mean. Like, for every case or two that I win, there's a case or two that I lose. And then I don't know what's the criteria here. There's nothing, right? Yesterday really sucked. Yesterday I received a $100 chargeback. Those are the worst. Because when you get a giant chargeback like that, that basically puts me so far into the negative for the day. And the thing is, yesterday you guys were very generous on both streams. We hit the tips goal both streams, and I still ended up doing less than half of what I would usually make in a normal day because I was so behind on the chargebacks, So that's kind of the situation. There's really not much else to say. It's pretty random. And I don't know, moving forward, if this is going to still be an ongoing problem, or if this has just been a jackass who in particular is committing fraud on my streams every day. By the way, it hasn't stopped. If you haven't noticed, the past couple of days, this guy shows up to all my streams and keeps doing fraudulent transactions. He'll impersonate a stream viewer and use their name, or he'll do like a positive message, right? With a giant contribution out of nowhere. $100. The other day was $500. Like, holy shit. But then you look at it and it's, okay, it's a person who doesn't have a registered PayPal account. They used Express Checkout, which basically means they put no information whatsoever into PayPal that would make me be protected if this were charged back. And therefore, when I get a giant contribution via that method, I just usually refund it. There's no point in dealing with the nonsense months down the line where now my PayPal account's going to be in the red because this idiot sent a fake tip and now it's getting charged back. So, FYI, it's still happening. It's not over yet. This saga continues. As people say, this is the chargeback saga, right? I am hoping that eventually it won't be an ongoing problem, but it looks like maybe it will be. Pretty much every day, I'm now getting chargebacks. Every single day. And that's not good. Because that means I have no idea what I'm making in a day, because some of what I make is fake. That's not good at all. So, I can't do much about it, I'm between a rock and a hard place. I like being a full-time streamer. I enjoy having crowdfunding as my primary source of contributions. Why? Because unlike being a YouTuber, where it was always about ad revenue, when I stream, it's about having a fun, interactive stream with you guys, having a positive experience, and you guys liking that experience and supporting it of your own volition and your own free will. It's not, I have to rely now on YouTube working properly, and if YouTube doesn't work properly, I get fucked over today, or, YouTube changed a search engine algorithm and now my videos can't be found anymore. It's not about that. Instead, it's about just having a good time with you guys, and you guys have shown me, in particular this year, you guys have definitively shown me that you like who I am, you like what I do, you support it, and you want it to continue. And I really do appreciate that, because this year was super uncertain with everything going on, and you guys definitively came out and said, no, we like you, we want this to continue. All right, so let's hope for the best. In fact, what I will do right now is check. The thing is, like I said, every single day for the past 2-3 weeks, there's been a chargeback every day. And that's not good. That's a bad pattern. That's a pattern that is incredibly frustrating for me, because obviously I want to be able to count on my income and I can't. As of right now, there have not been any chargebacks. As of right now. By the way, one final thing before we get to shoutouts. Someone contacted me overnight saying that basically there's someone who doesn't usually interact in chat much, but they've tipped a few times from here or there. And they're interested in getting data about my history on YouTube to share with me, and it could be something that I could talk about with you guys on streams. He says some of the things that he'd like to look up is, for example, how many unique games I've actually played since DSPGaming launched in 2010 across all of my channels. Or the specific genres of those games. Maybe make a chart to show what genre of game I've actually played the most in the last 10 plus years. Okay? Maybe doing an analysis of what consoles I played those games on the most. Each console generation, what console was the go-to console, you know? And other things like that. So this person initially basically did an analysis and says I have 1,931 playlists on DSPGaming. Okay? Now, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about that is, if you guys remember back in the day, whenever I played a fighting game, each session would be an individual playlist. So you could say, okay, I have 1,900 playlists, but Jesus, I guarantee you 500 of those playlists are probably just from fighting game sessions, right? But that's crazy, right? Then he says, outside of the 1,931 playlists, 1,791, so almost 1,800 of those are game-related. Meaning there's maybe about 130 playlists that are vlogs and things like that, all right? But most of my playlists over time have always been game-related. That's interesting to me. I think I would, what I would say to this person, I don't know if they're watching the pre-stream today. Yeah, I mean, obviously don't go crazy. Don't bend over backwards or anything. But if you want to spend some time doing some, analyzing some data, because, by the way, 2 days ago was my 12th anniversary as a content creator. I started on October 2nd, 2008, okay? And when you have an anniversary like that, sometimes you like to look back and look at the past to see what you've done. So I would say, yeah, if you're interested and you want to spend some time on that, go for it. I'm not saying you have to, okay? I'm saying, hey, if you feel like it, go right ahead. And I would absolutely like to maybe talk about some of that stuff here on the streams, okay? Good idea. But again, that's up to you. Obviously, you're kind of like a big fan if you're going to spend time dedicated doing that, and I appreciate that if that's the case. Okay. So, folks, that's that. It's now time to get to shout-outs, okay? What you hear me is me mashing the button on my keyboard to try to get it to work. So, overnight, Cody Carl's cheers. So, whatever happened to Morrowind Chill streams? I've been busy and haven't tuned in a bit. Last upload was in July. Are you done with it, or is it on hold? Well, basically, here's what happened. In July, a crazy thing happened. This year has been one of the craziest years for game releases because of the pandemic outbreak, all right? Since the pandemic, we've had games, new, giant, high-profile releases coming out in months that they would never normally be out in. July, in particular, was one of the busiest gaming months of the year, which never happens, okay? So, excuse me. There we go. Finally got it cleared out. So, what happened was, in July, there was Ghost of Tsushima, along with probably 2 or 3 other interesting things that I checked out. And because of that, I knew I wasn't going to be able to continuously do the late night chill streams like I usually like to do. I had to put a lot of them on hiatus, so I had time to play a major release during the day, and then the stuff that I was doing sometimes during the day had to go to the night times. Okay? And this is one of the situations where, yeah, there was chill streaming stuff. There was Minecraft and Morrowind that both went on hold in July. Here we are in October, and I still haven't gone back to them. And there's a unique situation here. You know, I'll be honest here. Here's the unique situation. First of all, Minecraft. That was something that I played for over a year and a half and really enjoyed doing as a chill stream. But let's face it, the Minecraft streams became more about interacting with people rather than really caring about what I was doing in the game, even though there was a major project focus. And it really, the last 6 months, basically, that I was playing the game, it was really me and Mr. Papavera. Mr. Papavera was guiding me to do these projects and fun things in the Minecraft world. And then the update came out in July, but that's when I stopped playing it. This was the update for the Nether, where you're going to have all these Nether environments and everything. And he was actually joining, like, my lobbies, or not my lobbies, but my world, in order to do things and build things behind the scenes. But then, basically, I think we both realized we had no idea what time I was going to go back to it. So it kind of lost priority as something to do, and he started playing other stuff. He got more involved in things like No Man's Sky and the like, and basically said he hit a wall playing Minecraft, meaning he really wasn't having a ton of fun playing it anymore, and didn't really know what he wanted to do, and basically, because of that, I never really prioritized bringing it back. Okay? So here we are. It's like, am I going to go back to Minecraft? I honestly don't know. Maybe if I ever did, it would be like, okay, I'm randomly going back just to see what's going on and do a random stream. It would not be a serious stream. It would not be, we're going to do projects and building. It would just be like a fuck around stream every once in a while, you know? But honestly, I don't know if I'll ever go back to Minecraft in the capacity that I've been playing it as consistently and seriously, because there's just other stuff to do. Let's face it, there's just other things now that I'm doing that I feel are more engaging to my audience than continuously playing Minecraft. You know, there was a good time for that, a good year and a half. But it's been 3 months, and it's like, honestly, have we really missed out not playing Minecraft for 3 months? Not really. Now, in the case of Morrowind, alright, this was a playthrough that was exciting because I'd never played an old school Elder Scrolls game before. And seeing me learn the mechanics of the game, how to use the commerce system to become basically infinitely wealthy, how to use magic to infinitely float and fly and abuse the system, you know, that was neat. But now, in the game, really the things to do would be to advance the plot. And I'll be honest, it ain't so interesting. Alright? Like, it was cool when I was learning different mechanics and stuff, but now I'm doing, like, if you remember, I was doing the Thieves Guild missions, and every mission's kind of like, okay, go steal this, go steal that. And even the main plot line hasn't been super interesting. I actually went to the end game area by accident, wandered around there for like 2 hours, and I survived because I was basically overpowered. So the other thing is, and I'll be honest here, one of the main people who was helping me with that playthrough and was interested in seeing me play it was my former moderator, Popsicola. And, you know, he was hyper excited to see me play it because it's one of his favorite games of all time or whatever. And, you know, I played it for months and months, but since the summer, Popsicola has retired from being a moderator of my content. So if I were to play it again, he wouldn't even be around to help me out or enjoy it. You see? So it's kind of like a combination of the fact that these games have not been played for 3+ months. They kind of lost their luster for me. They were fun ongoing playthroughs, but at this point, I don't know if I'm going to go back to them. Plus, the people who were involved with helping me with those playthroughs really aren't even around anymore because we've moved on to other stuff. You see? So that's what I mean. Like, I really have no inclination. Like, for me, okay, people are yelling at me. They want to see me do more Fall Guys. They want to see me do more late night chill stuff that's different. I almost am getting no one asking for the return of those chill streams. I'm not saying there's no one at all. I'm saying it's a very low percentile versus people who are saying, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I've had more people asking for Oblivion as a playthrough than Morrowind. I think Morrowind was a cool experiment. That's what I was looking for. A cool experiment to see, you know, how it would go if I wanted to play a really old school Elder Scrolls game. But now that we've seen it, It's kind of like, okay, well, we saw it. Big deal. You know, a lot of people want to see Oblivion over that. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ever going back to Morrowind. I don't know if I'm ever going back to Minecraft right now. My focus is to finish up Fire Emblem. And then use those extra night streams to maybe, do some more fun stuff that I've wanted to do and haven't gotten around to at this point. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it. I'm on the fence about it. I mean, I'm kind of undecided. Okay, just being honest with you. It's not a definite no for those games, but it's also not a, oh yeah, I cannot wait to get back to them. All right. We got a bunch of subs. We had your boy Thumb who resubscribed for 32 months. Thank you, your boy Thumb. We got Tyler Rega who subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Tyler, for the sub. And then we got Holy Wolf Adam who subscribed to the channel. So thank you all for the subs this morning. The first cheer that came in was from Ninstar Rune. He said, happy 1 week anniversary to the Quiet Man. Oh my god. Are we really going to do this? Are we really going to do this? No, Hobo X says, I thought Morrowind was a viewer's choice playthrough. No. Morrowind was actually a game for last year's Rageathon. I know that sounds stupid, because it kind of was. I don't understand why people nominated it for a Rageathon, because it's not a rage-inducing game at all. But Morrowind was a Rageathon game last year, and when I played it during the Rageathon, people said, oh, this might be just something interesting we want Phil to do as a playthrough later, so I did it as a playthrough later. See? But no, it was not a game that was promised to be a full playthrough via viewer's choice or anything like that. Okay? Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me a second, guys. There we go. Okay, I'm back. So let's continue on with shout-outs. Hail Hydra is the first tipper of the day. With $1 tip, so can you try inverted mode on the first levels? The chicken costume is awesome. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. At this point, I want to go forward with new levels. But maybe I will go back to some levels that seem like they wouldn't be too hard to replay to try to get the skins. Because the way it's going is you have to get, I think, 6 gems to unlock a skin. And since the inverted levels unlock and they give you multiple gems for just beating them, it seems like some of the skins will actually be quite easy to get, which at first didn't seem like that would be the case. But it seems like they will be pretty easy to get. So, we'll see. Alright, we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I won't. But, it depends on how the gameplay goes, right? Retro Jim did a 100-bit cheer and says, can you clarify the nomination process for the Halloween Marathon? Sure. I already explained it. We already covered that. So, thanks for the cheer earlier. Ramses Dev did a 500-bit cheer. That is the top cheer of the day. Let's get that on the leaderboard, and I'll read out his message here. 500 bits, thank you very much, Ramses. He says, my wife told me I should cheer, since I'm always listening to you. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, first of all, for listening to me. Obviously, that means you like the content. I appreciate your support. Thank you to your wife for suggesting a contribution. Thanks a lot for everything, both of you. Thank you, thank you. All right, Ninstar Rune Cheer says, stop paying money for potential stinkers. Go back to Minecraft or other games you already own with new content. Well, again, Minecraft, I don't know. Like, it was definitely a very popular thing for a while. But I almost feel like Minecraft's time is done. You know what I mean? Like, we did it for a year and a half. It's been on hiatus for 3 months, and quite frankly, no one seems to be really missing it. So that kind of makes me lean towards maybe, I don't know if I'll go back to it. If, like I said, if I do, maybe I'll do it as a one-off stream just to mess around. But I don't necessarily see it as being a giant thing that people are screaming for, and I absolutely need to go back to right away. Okay? Just being honest here. You know, I like to be honest with you guys. I don't want to get your expectations or hopes up, and then you're disappointed because I overpromise and underdeliver. Okay? That's the kind of guy I am. Okay. Ow. Just cracked my neck. Ouch. Okay. Real life researcher cheering and says, I thought there was a viewer's choice PL coming. Why not doing that? It's the viewer's choice. Real life researcher. I've explained this, but I'll explain it again. The playthrough that's supposed to be coming out, that's viewer's choice, is Divinity Original Sin 2. Divinity Original Sin 2 is an incredibly long, drawn-out RPG, turn-based, slow-moving, probably going to end up being, no exaggeration, 60 to 80 hours long, just like Fire Emblem Three Houses was. Okay? First of all, there's absolutely no effing way that I can play that until I'm done with Fire Emblem Three Houses. That's number one. Number two, I've got another RPG coming out next month that takes priority because it's a new release. New releases will always take priority over downtime projects or this kind of stuff, okay? The new release is Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon. Ooh, it's the first ever turn-based Yakuza game. All Yakuza games up to now have been action-based with, you know, the beat-em-up style combat. This is the first one going full-on turn-based RPG mode. Okay? I'm intrigued. I want to see how the Yakuza franchise can turn into an RPG like this. Because in reality, a lot of the gameplay of Yakuza has always been RPG-based. It's basically just never gone full-on combat-wise into RPG realm. Okay? So, I'm interested very much next month to see how this will turn out. The thing is, number one, okay, I've played Yakuza games before. There's definitely an audience for them. I always have a viewer base that comes to watch me play Yakuza, but it's not my main viewer base. And what I mean by that is I'm not going to be packing streams with people who are going to be watching Yakuza. It's going to probably be 200 people, maybe 300 people tops, who join me for every stream, okay? However, these people are very supportive people, meaning they like the content and they will support it if they like it. I really like the Yakuza franchise, so I'm not going to say, oh, since I'm not getting sky-high views on this playthrough, I give up and I'm not going to play it. Instead, I'm going to do what I usually do with RPGs. We're going to maybe do a few major streams of it, and then it's going to go to the night streams, and I'll probably play it like twice a week as the night stream. But that being said, if I'm only doing 4 hours of gameplay a week in a 60 to 80 hour game, what's going to happen? It's going to be an insanely drawn-out playthrough, just like Fire Emblem was. So I suspect I'm going to start playing Yakuza in November, and no lie, I'll probably be playing this RPG into the spring. That's my full expectation. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the quickest Yakuza game ever made, but I suspect that's going to be what's going to happen with the playthrough. So that being said, knowing that I have to finish off Fire Emblem this week, and I've got another major lengthy RPG, brand new release coming out next month, there is no way I could play Divinity Original Sin 2 right now. What we need is to have a time frame where there's no major RPG release, where I can take my time with Divinity, just like I did with Fire Emblem. There were no major RPGs this year. There weren't. So I was able to take my time with Fire Emblem and do the playthrough and complete the game. So that's how I want to approach Divinity. I don't want to have it be a playthrough that I have to rush through and not do the content and make it not be a worthwhile playthrough because I just usually get it done, right? That's not the attitude I want to have playing a game like that, especially because it's a franchise that apparently is one of the best RPGs ever made, this franchise, and I missed out on it because it primarily is played on PC, and usually the games come out on PC before console, so I definitely want to give it a shot. Okay? So there you go. I will let you know when we're ready for Divinity. It ain't now. Okay? It's just not now. Sorry. Okay. Team Gardenator cheered and said, people who never played X-Wing or X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter games back in the 90s, my childhood, did not like Star Wars Squadrons. What are your thoughts on Peter Parker's new face in Spider-Man Remastered? He looks like emo Tom Holland on steroids. First of all, I never played the X-Wing or TIE Fighter games. And that's kind of why this Star Wars Squadrons game didn't really appeal to me. Because maybe if I had played those and I wanted a throwback, game like that, maybe I would have been more inclined to play it. But I'm kind of the impression that maybe I wouldn't like it that much. Because I didn't play those kind of games. And honestly, I don't usually play flight games at all. So maybe I wouldn't like it that much, right? So I don't know. Maybe, again, I'm kind of posing it to my viewing audience if that's something that they would want to see me do or not. All right. In regards to emo Tom Holland, I would definitely say the new Spider-Man and the remade version of Marvel Spider-Man looks like Tom Holland. I seriously, I can't deny it. It looks exactly like that. It really does, you know? He looks just like him. That's what they're going for. Is that a good or bad thing? Personally, I don't care. I think what happened was a lot of people really enjoyed the Spider-Man game, and they wanted to see it as its own entity. They didn't want to see it as, oh, that's the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and now that's the canon Spider-Man from the movies or whatever. They wanted to see it as its own thing, and to now see that they've taken that version of Peter that people really like from Marvel Spider-Man, changed into a already pre-existing version. I think people are upset because of that, and maybe rightly so. I liked the game. I wasn't in love with it. So to me, it's not like, oh God, I'm so infuriated that they've changed Peter into the movie Peter or whatever. But some people are. Personally, I don't give a shit. And the thing is, I'm not replaying it. Like, maybe, from what I'm to understand, I'm trying to remember, like, to get the Miles Morales DLC, don't you have to rebuy the game? Isn't that a true statement, or am I misunderstanding the situation? I thought you had to rebuy Spider-Man in order to get the Miles Morales expansion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm so confused because I can't even get the story straight of how I'm supposed to get Miles Morales. I want the Miles Morales game, but I don't know how to get it. How is it that it's not clear? Right? I don't know. I'm very confused. But anyway, I'd like to figure this out. But I'm probably likely not replaying. The only reason that I could see myself going back and replaying some of Marvel Spider-Man, because I platinumed the game, by the way, would be just to see the graphical performance. I want to see how much different it looks than how it played on PS4 Pro. But outside of that, I don't really foresee myself going back and playing any length of the game. I think that would be a waste of time because I already platinumed it. Okay? So I don't care about Spider-Man looking like this or that. The last concern on my mind, basically. Okay? Okay. Real-life researcher Cheers said if people are voting for something, that's probably why they voted for it. That's what research says. What? There's no voting going on. If you're talking about nominations, that's different than voting. I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what that means. Real-life researcher said, I think it's time you choose a game you're going to play. Your viewers apparently don't know what they want. You obviously know better, so why not pick the game yourself? Well, what I do, when I do a poll or nominations, I use that as a guideline to see what my viewers are interested in. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm definitely going to play what I've got listed or what ends up being nominated. It just means that now I have a general guidance of what people might want to see, and it helps me to determine what I want to do. There you go. Orcs or Dorks 7 did 100-bit cheers. Says you should print and make a mask to be low tier god for Halloween. I don't think blackface is a good idea. I'm pretty sure blackface is not ever a good idea, ever, in human history. Probably a bad idea. And I think that I will not be low tier god, because then, if I were, the internet might explode. Like, he might actually, like dislike me and and come after me, constantly on his streams, and that's the last thing we want here. I don't want to have people who think that I have an agenda against them. I don't want people to think that I hate them. Every once in a while, maybe there's a one-off comment I'll make, and people just, those one-off comments, people go crazy. Oh, did you hear what Phil said about this streamer or that streamer? Like, Jesus. It was like an aside comment I was making. It wasn't fucking something serious. I wasn't harping on hating on someone for, like, hours on end. It was just a tiny little comment. And people take it so blown up out of context. It's, like, crazy. Like, oh, my God, did you hear that Phil completely destroyed LTG today? Like, no, I didn't. I made a comment about one of the things he does on his streams that I think is ludicrous. I have the right to make a single comment about it if I feel like it. Now, I'm not going to talk about it every fucking stream. I'm not going to harp on it. But if I have the right, I have a right to say, oh, I think this is kind of silly. Right? Why don't I have the right to say something is silly? No, Phil, if you do that, that means because you're a hater. Yeah. So, can you imagine any of these other streamers that people make fun of or whatever, if I dressed up for one of them as Halloween? Can you imagine? Like, it would be like the internet explodes and everyone's just constantly fucking gonna make drama out of it. And you know that's not what I am. As a content creator, I'm not a drama hound. I don't want to be like that. I want to just have fun streams. I don't care about causing fights with other fucking streamers and shit. It's so petty and stupid, you know? It reminds me, what it reminds me of is the thing I don't want to get involved in, okay? Years ago, you guys probably don't even remember this, all right? When Street Fighter V first released, all right? It was a shit show. The launch was terrible. It was one of the worst launches of fighting games ever, okay? And I don't even remember who the fuck it was, because I can't even remember the guy, and I don't give a fuck about him anyway. Some random YouTuber who has a following who's completely misinformed because the guy talks out of his fucking ass constantly, alright, made a comment about how, like, I'm someone who constantly rage quits games in Street Fighter, okay? And people sent me this comment and were like, why did this guy mention you? And why did he say that? Because it's blatantly false. Like, you never rage quit in Street Fighter. Like, you actually make it an agenda that you don't rage quit in fighting games. Even when you're getting your ass handed to you, you don't quit because you're staunchly against rage quitting. So why is this guy saying this about you? This is basically mass slander. And I was like, I don't know why he did that. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. I don't know why he would do it. You know, it seems like he's just jumping on the bandwagon. It's the Phil hate bandwagon or whatever, right? So I made one comment to the guy saying, you owe me an apology because you basically insulted me and lied. It would be one thing if you were actually saying something that was factually true. You're completely incorrect here, and you owe me an apology. The guy then challenged me to a fight in real life. Huh? So let's think about this, okay? This guy, out of nowhere, I never mentioned this guy, I don't even know who the fuck he is. He goes out of his way to make a slanderous comment about me that's completely false, 100% false, okay? I call him out on the internet and say, you owe me an apology for lying to your viewer base, because you have a big viewer base on YouTube, you shouldn't be making irresponsible comments like that. And the guy challenges me to a fight. Like, what? What the fuck are you, like, huh? What is that? What is that train of thought? And the answer is there is no train of thought. It's brain dead stupidity. But that's what I mean. Like, that's how these people are. A lot of these people are drama hounds, and they thrive off of that. Let me tell you, he probably loved the fact that he was getting attention from a viewing audience that normally would not be his viewing audience. People were paying attention to him who normally wouldn't. And he's like, oh, this is my opportunity. Watch this. I'm going to get fucking, you know, all kinds of undue attention out of this shit now. Watch this, man. And he tried to turn it into something that it wasn't. It was ludicrous. Why would I fight him? What is he even talking about? You know? But that's what I mean. Can you imagine if I dressed up as, like, LTG or Wings or any other one of these content creators? Right? The amount of crazy drama it would cause. I wouldn't do that, you know. So anyway, no, I'm not going to be doing that. New Star Rune cheered. He says, for Halloween, be Home Defense Boogie. No. Jay Hawkwood resub for 5 months. Thank you, Jay Hawkwood, for the resub. I appreciate that. And he says, have you ever tried a Swiss pillow? They have holes in them. No. Comment fan to me $1.30. He says, I appreciate you asking us what we want you to play, but what do you want to play? You knocked it out of the park with your Final Fantasy VI playthrough. Another playthrough like that, maybe a shorter game that you specialize in would be great. Oh man, I don't know. I haven't thought about anything like that in a long time. Like, I know there's playthroughs I would absolutely love to do. Excuse me. That I know would be entertaining, but I haven't actually, like, concretely thought about something like that in a while. I'd have to think, like, what retro game would I want to play or whatever, you know? I don't know. Thank you for the tip. Froze TS, resubscribe for 7 months. Thank you, Froze TS, for a 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Sambuca 2020 did a 100-part cheers. Is it Crash 4 part of the Rageathon? Big ups to the viewers for choosing it. And replay The Quiet Man. No, and absolutely not. That's ludicrous. What you're saying to me is absolutely ridiculous. No. No. Never. No. Okay, then. License sold at 1,000-bit cheer. Biggest cheer of the day. He says, as a full-breed Mexican and your biggest fan, I grant you the power to say the word. Oh, I'm not saying that at all. He's saying something in Spanish that I don't know what it means, and chances are I'll get in trouble for it, so I'm not saying it. But thank you, Liza Versol, for the 1,000-bit cheer. Okay. Now it's time for some quick shout-outs. I know the pre-stream once again has gone insanely long, because people keep stirring up conversation and the like, and it goes forever. Okay? What are you going to do? Okay, so, shout-outs. The top cheerers of the week. All right? In 10th place, it's a tie, actually, for 9th place between Mr. Minecraftish and Always, what the fuck does that say? Always Hot Tea. Got it. Then there's a tie for 7th place between Timbo Slice and Melody Zelda. Then in 6th place, it's Bubble Buddy. In 5th place, it's Dark Side Kenny. In 4th place, Robert Evans. Tied with Shadow the Hedgehog for 3rd, so it's a tie for 3rd. In 2nd place, Ninstar Rune. And in 1st place, Liza Versol. Thanks, you guys, for your support this week. Also, thank you to those who've gifted subscriptions. We actually have a lot of people who gifted subs this week. Thank you for that. We've got Pizza Pasta, Beast Bod, Triplication, Zero Falcon, Noah Taylor, and X4 Faithbreaker, who all gifted a single sub. Ultimate Cloud 7, Big D's, and Randy O'Butternut each gifted 2 subs, and Internet Famous McCoy gifted 5 subscriptions. So thank you guys very, very much for all of your support. It is much appreciated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to use the restroom. Let's take just a couple minutes. I'll use the restroom. I'll come back. It'll be time for Crash 4 to continue. Thanks for putting up with a lengthy pre-stream. Another one, but people keep asking stuff. What can you say? I'll be right back. Thanks. See you in a bit.